Hello all, new day, new session. Today we are going to look at our third topic, that is how to send a file to user. But before that, let us do a quick revision in which we are going to implement a send mail to user, we are going to receive a mail from that particular user, okay, and not only that, we are going to capture the time, how much time it took. Let's quickly create a POC, okay, new process model, PWM test send mail. You can create, click on save. It will help you in revising the old concepts, okay. For better thing, you can watch it at 1.5x speed. I am going to utilize my send email, or simply say I am going to utilize my email smart service here. Mail which is I am going to consume my send mail. I am going to put my send mail here. I will be putting the basic configurations here, and that is properties, setup, from process model to, that I will type here. Okay, I will type okay. I will type here like mail send. I am going to type very basic configurations because these things we have completed in our previous sessions, okay. And let me click on OK. Let me complete the data management properties here. Data management, I will say create after 1 day. Alerts, I'm going to set alerts to process model owner. Variables, right now we don't have any variables with us. General, and in general I'm going to say that this particular mail has been triggered on concat comma text. What text? I would say GMT local now comma IST. Okay, that will give me the time, but in what format? I need in DD MMM YY HH MMSS, then it's either it's AM or PM. Here goes my thing, and there we go. Click on save and close. Okay, let me validate. Okay, it contains no errors. Now let me click on file and save and publish. Let me quickly create a receiver. New process model, receive test mail. Okay, receive test mail. See, description is something which you, if you would like to give, it's good. If not, it should be given basically. Okay, being from good dev practices. Let me quickly create this object. Okay, save. Let me do the basic configurations. Let me allow it to be event to be fired by outside. Okay, public event to fired by outside. Let me create my attachment folder, which is my PWM application documentations. Okay, let me quickly set up my data alerts, data management 1 alerts. Okay, and here we go. Perfect. Now it says name is not dynamic. Let me do the same thing here. Let me just go there, copy paste the thing from here. There we go. Split up on cat, comma, and there we go. Save and close. Okay, done. Let me quickly have these things here. Properties, triggers. Which trigger? Receive message trigger. How receive message trigger? It should be triggered from email. Data, new mapping. We must be able to capture. What you must be able to capture? You must be able to capture that mail has came from where? From mail. Okay. Mail has came from where? That is from mail, and it should be stored in my from mail variable. And click on OK. Click on OK. Click on OK, and there we go. Click on File. Save and publish. Now remember, in the previous session, what we have learned. This particular node has its own address. I'm going to consume that address. And what is that address? It is process model ID. This is my ID. So I will go back there. I will go back to my constants. I will put this ID here and cast this new process model address. Paste it here, and I am going to paste this address at this particular bar. That okay, my mail should be triggered at this particular address. Setup to email address, and there we go. Click on save and close. Save and close. Process model contains no errors. File. Save and publish. Same thing I am going to do it here. File. Save and publish. Let me quickly go to monitoring tab. Okay, and let me fire this process model which we have created just now. It got fired. Basically we can see here that one process model has been fired on 3rd May at this much time. Let's wait and refresh the screen, and let's see if that particular process model has been triggered or not. Which process model has been triggered or not? My receive mail. Let me refresh the screen. Let me go back here. It is my test receive mail, test send mail. Test send mail has been triggered. Let's wait for some time. So you can see, okay, it has almost triggered a time, and we can see that this particular process model has been triggered at 5:37 2 seconds AM and at 55 AM. It means it has came back instantaneously. Now that is how we are able to send and receive a mail from outside or inside with the help of any address. Now the topic for today is to send an attachment. Let us see if we are able to send and receive that attachment in our send mail smart service. So for that we will be again using a temporary search smart service. So for that I will be utilizing my temp mail. Okay, and I will go back again, open my test mail. In the test mail we have something called as send email. Okay, and I will go to properties, setup, and similarly instead of putting a single address, what I will be doing, I will be putting the constant here which is going to hold my addresses. Let me put the constant here. And how do we call a constant? Using constant acronym. Let me just first copy this address. Constant PWM. Okay, and let me paste this address here. Let me paste this address here. What is my temp mail which I have received? Okay, let me copy this temp mail from here and let me paste this mail here, and there we go. Okay, click on save changes, click on save and close. Now we have something called as attachments. So I'm going to paste my attachment here. From where can you get my attachment? I have my attachment with me. Let's suppose I have a text file with me. Okay, I have a text file. So there are two ways. One is a dynamic thing, which we always do using Java runtime. But for the time being, I'm going to demonstrate how can we utilize this thing. Now every document inside Appian has its own document ID. So what we can do, we can copy this document ID from here. We can go back, and the attachments we can simply type to document, to doc, and I can pass my ID here, and there we go. Then click on save and close, click on OK, and click on verify. There is no errors contains, fine, save and publish, and there we go. Now send file to a user. Now I am going to send the file to different users. Okay, now but before that, is my process model capable enough of handling or receiving the attachments? Let me have a look. I will go back here. I will go back to variables. I will go back to general. I can see nothing here. Let me go back here. File, triggers, receive message, data. There is no message properties here. Let me define the message properties for the attachments here. I will go to message properties. We can see something here called as attachments, and let me paste this attachment inside my new variable called as attachments. And what is attachments? Attachment is a document. And let me click on OK, OK, verify, process model contains no errors, file, save and publish, and there we go. Now let me quickly trigger this mail. I have triggered this mail. I will go back again to my monitoring tab. Okay, I will refresh this page, and the moment I refreshed, I can see, okay, this particular mail has been triggered. Okay, now if I go to my temp mail, if I try to find it here, my inbox is empty right now, which is it is stating it, but no worries. Let me also refresh this thing, because earlier, as per our observation, it took around 53 seconds. Let's see. Okay, so we can see here that okay, it has triggered two things, and here if I go back here, let me refresh this page. If I go back here, I can see, okay, I can see that it has taken the similar time. But now if I click on this object, if I click on this object or there is a particular instance, I can find out that this particular thing has been triggered by this particular process model, and this is the file name which it has received within. If I go back to history, I can see, okay, this is something which just came from anonymous user. Okay, it's something which came from outside. In a similar way, we can have different things to be done. Hope we are clear by our sending files to a user. Now this particular user or this particular address can be any address. Let me just show it to you again. Click on save. Is it the same address? Okay, that's the same address. Let me revalidate the address. Click on save, and let me come back here. Let me click on trigger. Okay, this is an instance. This is an instance. No worries, no worries. Let me click on debug, control D, and it has fired an event If I go to process details, if I go to history, okay, there's nothing here. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay, if I go back here, everything looks perfect. If I go to temp mail, I can see that it has an attachment with itself. From where it has came from this particular process model from an Appian, which says mail sent. If I see attachments, I can see that it has PWM sample text file, and from where this file came. This file is the same file which we have inside our ecosystem. This file is the same file. So that's all for today's session. We'll meet soon in the next session where we are going to see how to receive a file from a user. Thank you.